Yes, my dear students, let me continue the sequence. Today I would like to give you subsequence and quasi-sequence. These two parts I would like to define and I would like to prove certain theorems in this case. What is subsequence then? Subsequence. Yes. Suppose AN is a sequence. AN is a given sequence. Nk is a natural number. What is that Nk? Here, such that N1 less than N2 less than N3, so on up to less than Nk, so on for different value of k. Then a sequence Ank is called subsequence. It is a subsequence of An. Means few elements, few numbers, few elements I have collected in a sequence under this condition, A1 less than A2 less than N3, N1 less than N2 less than N3 and so on up to Nk and so on. Then we say that this Ank, actually these are the elements from An, this sequence we call it as a subsequence of the An. For example, suppose An equal to, it is set of natural number 1, 2, 3, so on. It is a sequence. It is one sequence. Then if I consider Ank as, this Nk is 2n. That is, n equal to 1 means 2, n equal to 2 means 4, n equal to 3, 6, so on. This is an1, an2, an3 and so on. This is subsequence of the sequence. Similarly, if I consider Ank is equal to 2n minus 1, means odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, so on. When n equal to 1, 1, n equal to 2, you will get 3, n equal to 3, you will get 5. So this is an1, an2, an3 and so on. Similarly, if I consider Ank equal to, it is n square, means 1, 4, 9, 16 and so on. This is also subsequence of the same, the sequence An. These are all subsequences. Yes, subsequence is nothing but few elements under certain condition we have collected in another sequence. That sequence is called subsequence of the given sequence. Okay, then once you have a subsequence, if you say that sequence is convergent, subsequence is also convergent. This is the main theorem, examination point of view. What the theorem says, a sequence is convergent, then its subsequence is also convergent. Converse is not true. If subsequence is convergent, sequence may not be convergent. So converse is not true, but direct is there. Prove that, the statement of the theorem is, prove that every convergent sequence has a convergent subsequence, or prove that a sequence is converges to L, then subsequence is also converges to L. So proof is quite simple. So proof. An is given sequence, converges to L. Convergent means you have a limit. Therefore, limit An as n tending to infinity equal to L. What do you mean by this definition of the limit? For a given epsilon positive, there exists a natural number m such that mod of An minus L is less than epsilon for all n greater than or equal to m. This is the definition of the convergence or limit. Let Ank is a subsequence of, it is a subsequence of An. for nk greater than or equal to m, because it is a part of that an. This ank is also element of the an. For nk greater than m implies mod of ank minus l is less than epsilon for all nk greater than or equal to m. Definitely this shows that limit ank as n tending to infinity equal to l. This implies the subsequence nk is convergent and converges to l. That's all. Yes, this is a simple theorem. Examination point of view, for 2 marks they are asking. Next, I would like to prove the peak point of the sequence. What is the peak point of the sequence? Yes, peak point. Suppose an is a sequence, any given sequence, the natural number m is said to be peak point of the sequence am. The natural number m is said to be peak point of the sequence am if for all n greater than or equal to m implies this am is greater than an. In other words, all am terms becomes greater than an terms for all n greater than m. For all m greater than n greater than m, so that term, so am is a bigger term than that an term. So then we say that m is a peak point of that sequence an. Based on this definition, I would like to prove that every sequence has monotonic subsequence, monotonically increasing or monotonically decreasing. So that's a very important theorem again. The theorem is every sequence has monotonic subsequence ank. If it is a subsequence of that an, then this is a monotonic sequence. Or in other words, if a subsequence of a sequence is always monotonic, we have to prove it. Then this theorem can be proved in 3 ways. One, the sequence has infinitely many peak points and finite peak points and no peak points. So sequence has in 3 ways. One, infinitely many peak points and no peak points and finite peak points. So proof of this. Case 1. A sequence an has infinitely many peak points. Say n1 less than n2 less than n3 less than n4 and so on are all peak points. Then consider subsequence ank with above condition. With above condition, you consider subsequence as n1 is peak point and n1 is less than n2. This implies an2 is less than an1 because n1 is a peak point. This term becomes the greater than the previous term. n2 is peak point such that n2 is less than n3. This implies AN3 is less than AN2 because N2 is peak point. Call this as a 2. N3 is a peak point such that N3 is less than N4. This implies AN4 is less than AN3. Call equation number 3. If I continue like this, from 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3 and continuation, see that AN1 is less than AN2, but AN2 is less than AN3, but AN3 is less than AN4, greater than AN4. It goes like this. What this shows? This shows that ANK is monotonically decreasing sequence. Monotonically decreasing. Yes, it is a monotonic sequence, but monotonically decreasing sequence is the subsequence. This is case 1. And case 2. The case 2 has finite peak points. Has finite peak points. Say M. M means a peak point. Now, N1 less than N2 less than N3 so on are not peak points. All these are other than the peak points. They are different peak points. This shows that none of them is peak point. Definitely AN1 is less than AN2, less than AN3, and so on. Because none of them is peak point, you cannot get that inequality reverse. This shows that ANK is, this is just by definition of the subsequence, is monotonically increasing. Therefore, the subsequence is monotonically increasing sequence. It is a monotonic sequence. Case 3. A sequence has no peak point. None of them is peak point. Then all are different numbers. N1, N2, N3 are not peak points. As usual. Same. AN1 less than AN2 less than AN3. Therefore, ANK is monotonically increasing. Same idea. So here some peak points are there. Other than the peak points, I have taken a subsequence. But here none of them is peak point. Therefore, directly I can take the monotonically increasing sequence. Yes. So based on this definition and this theorem, I would like to prove another theorem. Prove that every sequence has convergent, every bounded sequence has convergent subsequence. If a sequence is bounded, then definitely it has a convergent subsequence, converges to some finite number. This is the theorem. Or in other words, so the subsequence of a bounded sequence is always convergent. A subsequence of a bounded sequence is a convergent, or every bounded sequence has a convergent subsequence. You have to prove this. So proof of this. AN is bounded sequence. It is a bounded sequence. Let ANK be subsequence of AN. This implies ANK, it is a part of that ANK, is also bounded. It is also a bounded sequence because it is a part of that AN. Just I have proved theorem, ANK is monotonic. Why it is monotonic? Every subsequence of a sequence is monotonic. This implies ANK is bounded and monotonic. And now we have a theorem. Every monotonic bounded sequence are always convergent. This implies A n k is convergent. Yes, that's all. First, it is a bounded sequence. It has a subsequence. Definitely, it is bounded because it is a bounded of the subsequence of the bounded sequence. Part of that. Therefore, it is bounded. And every subsequence are always monotonic sequences. Just I have proved the theorem, previous theorem, and it is monotonic as well as bounded. And bounded monotonic sequences are convergent sequences. So therefore, it is convergent sequence. Yes, this is another theorem. Now, let me define Cauchy sequence. Yes. What is Cauchy sequence then? Cauchy sequence. Cauchy sequence. A sequence AN, any sequence AN is said to be Cauchy sequence for given epsilon positive, there exists a natural number m and p such that mod of an minus am is less than epsilon for all n and m greater than or equal to p. Suppose this inequality holds good. An is any sequence such that for a given epsilon positive there are two natural numbers m and p such that an minus am is less than epsilon for all n and m greater than p. Or another way of this is the sequence an is said to be Cauchy sequence if for given epsilon there exists a positive number p, a natural number, such that an plus p minus an is less than epsilon. An plus p minus an is less than for all p greater than 0, a natural number. Yes. So then this an is called Cauchy sequence. Then based on the definition, I would like to prove every Cauchy sequence is a bounded sequence. If a Cauchy sequence is there, it definitely is a bounded sequence. We have to prove it. So that is the theorem. Prove that a Cauchy sequence is a bounded sequence, or every Cauchy sequence is a bounded sequence. Proof of this. An is Cauchy sequence. Cauchy sequence. What do you mean by this? For given epsilon, there exist natural numbers m and p such that mod of an minus am less than epsilon for all n comma m greater than or equal to p. If I remove this, am minus epsilon less than an less than am plus epsilon, call this as a 1. Let small k is equal to minimum of a1, a2, a3, so on up to am minus epsilon and am plus epsilon. Among these you take a smallest number, that will be a k, and capital K equal to maximum of a1, a2, a3, so on up to am minus epsilon and am plus epsilon. Then 1 becomes the small k less than an less than capital K. This is true for all m because I have taken minimum and maximum of the set. Therefore, it is true for all. This shows that an is a bounded sequence. It is bounded below as well as bounded above. Therefore, Cauchy sequence. This implies this an is bounded. It is a bounded sequence. That's all. Yes. Every Cauchy sequence is a bounded sequence. But converse is not true. If bounded sequence is there, it may not be Cauchy sequence. So this you have to remember. Okay. Then we have to prove that Another important theorem, examination point of view, general principle of convergency, general principle of Cauchy general principle of convergency. So this is an important theorem, many times asked in the examination for 5 marks. They will ask state and prove Cauchy general principle of convergency. Cauchy general principle of convergency. Yes, they will ask state and prove Cauchy general principle of convergency. The statement is very simple. A sequence is said to be Cauchy if and only if it is convergent. Any sequence is said to be Cauchy if and only if it is convergent. Every convergent sequences are Cauchy sequences and every Cauchy sequences are convergent sequences. There are two cases. Cauchy implies convergent, convergent implies Cauchy. So that is the theorem. Let's prove this. So proof of this. Case 1. Let A and B convergent is a convergent sequence. We have to prove AN is Cauchy sequence. Yes. Therefore, AN converges to N. This implies limit AN as n tending to infinity equal to N. For epsilon positive, there exists a P such that modulus of An minus L is less than epsilon. You can take epsilon by 2 for all n greater than or equal to P. Call this as a 1. If m is greater than P, imply for all n greater than P, this holds. Therefore, m is greater means Am minus L less than epsilon by 2. Call equation number 2. Consider mod of An minus Am equal to mod of An minus L plus L minus Am. Just add and subtract L. This is less than or equal to mod An minus L plus L minus Am. This is less than epsilon by 2. An minus L is less than epsilon 2. Am minus L is same as L minus Am. Therefore, it is also less than epsilon by 2. This is true for all n m greater than or equal to P. What I have proved actually, this An minus Am is less than epsilon for all n m greater than P. This shows that An is Cauchy sequence. Yes. Case 2. If it is Cauchy, then I have to prove it is a convergent. Case 2. Let An is Cauchy sequence. We have to prove An is convergent. Yes, we have to prove this. Its Cauchy means this implies An minus Am less than epsilon by 3. Let me by convenient, I would like to take it. For all n m greater than or equal to P. Call this as a 1. is a sequence, therefore let ANK be subsequence of AN. For if NK is greater than P, implies ANK minus AM is less than epsilon by 3 because NK is greater than P. Call equation number 2. Same. Here NK is greater than P. Instead of N, I have taken NK. As NK is subsequence of AN. I have proved the previous theorem, every subsequence is a convergent. ANK is convergent and converges to L. If it converges to L, then for given epsilon positive, there exists NK naught, a natural number such that mod of ANK minus L is less than epsilon by 3 for all NK greater than or equal to NK naught. Call this as a 3. Let us take let Q equal to maximum of P and NK naught. Consider mod of AN minus L equal to mod of AN minus AM plus AM. Add and subtract this. Minus ANK plus ANK, this minus L. AN minus L as it is, minus plus minus plus. This is less than or equal to mod of AN minus AM plus mod of AM minus ANK plus mod of ANK minus L. From equation 1, it is epsilon by 3. It is AM minus NK or ANK minus M, both same. This also epsilon by 3. And by equation number 3, it is epsilon by 3. And this Q is the maximum of all this for all N greater than or equal to Q. This shows that AN minus L is less than epsilon by 3 plus epsilon by 3 for all N greater than or equal to Q. This shows that limit AN as n tending to infinity equal to L, this implies AN is convergent. That's the most important theorem, examination point of view. This is called Cauchy general principle of convergency. A most important theorem, examination point of view. Many times this is asked. So this is the subsequence, Cauchy sequence. Only one part left in the sequence topic, that is limit superior, limit inferior. Perhaps one class or two class, I would like to complete your whole sequence topic in the next class. Thank you.